सेव किया था ना?
मैं सिर्फ इसलिए गया था क्योंकि उसने मुझे कॉल किया, that's it. But listen तो.
Save it for someone else.
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो, सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा। इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
There is an expectation, I know, that there will be a special episode today of Cut The Clutter on Karnataka election results. So, if there is an expectation from all of you, our viewers, readers, here we are at your service. So, this is our special episode. Now, the standout data point from the Karnataka verdict isn't that the Congress has a clear majority in the state and that the BJP has lost its only redoubt in the south. It is instead, the headline data point instead is the fact that the incumbent BJP has fallen to less than half, in fact much less than a half of the Congress. Chew on that number again. BJP, the almighty BJP in Karnataka, much less than a half of the Congress party, and they were the incumbent. This BJP in power in the state and at the center is now diminished to less than a half of the Congress. I know I'm repeating myself, but that is deliberate because that is how dramatic this change is. This leaves many lessons for all contestants and takeaways for us analysts as well. Let us list the 10 most important ones here. Number 1, if you run a really bad state government, nothing can redeem you. Voters will then toss aside the charm of your national leadership, nationalism, polarization, religion, and definitely a partisan news media, no matter how it grovels to you. Next point, number 2, there will be much discussion on why the intense personalized campaign by PM Narendra Modi failed so spectacularly. Does it show a decline in his popularity? Hold your horses, don't jump to conclusions. Karnataka reminds us again that the voters make a distinction now between when Modi is himself on the ticket or when he is seeking votes for others. He might still be able to hold a lamppost election for Lok Sabha. Lamppost election is when my candidate is a lamppost, you vote for the lamppost. That's a lamppost election. So he may still be able to hold a lamppost election for Lok Sabha, not for the states. That's why he wins Gujarat. Because in Gujarat, when he goes and campaigns, the vote is for him. It is not for anybody else. That's his home state, not in other states. Next point, it follows that in a state election, voters assess your local government's performance. In the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, the BJP had swept Karnataka, winning in 170 of the 224 assembly segments. Congress and the JDS, despite a pre-poll alliance between them, won merely 47 segments, that is 36 for the Congress, 11 for JDS. Today's reversal, with the Congress and JDS nearly reaching 170 between themselves, despite having no alliance, in fact contesting against each other, that shows the Indian voters are too shrewd to put their emotions above rational expectations. Next point, in its 10th year now, the Modi Shah BJP has shown a remarkable inadequacy at replicating their Lok Sabha success in Vidhan Sabhas. They've suffered serial defeats in the states or settled for coalitions where they've had to concede much more ground to the partner than they would have liked to. Check out Maharashtra, Haryana and Bihar until Nitish's wagon was tied to their engine. We need to also make a deeper analysis of the states they have decisively won by themselves. Uttar Pradesh and Assam, for example. In both, a local leader has risen and each is quite capable of winning the election on his own by now. Each is a sui generis leader. Both are the preeminent campaign leaders in their states. It doesn't hurt to have Mr. Modi go and campaign there, but the preeminent campaigners would still be Yogi Adityanath and Himanta Biswa Sarma in their states. That does not follow the BJP High Command script. Gujarat, we explained earlier why the BJP keeps winning, because in Gujarat it is still a vote for Narendra Modi directly. Uttarakhand surely is an exception, but it is too small in the big picture. Next point. The Modi Shah BJP's model of appointing lightweight chief ministers from New Delhi was fraying already. Karnataka is the rudest reminder of how unworkable this idea is, except Manohar Lal Khattar in Haryana, who carries on in his second term, albeit after conceding half his government, if not more, to Dushyant Chautala, the JJP partner. Each one of these high command choices has produced a disaster in the states. One, Devendra Fadnavis now is reduced to Deputy Chief Minister in his state. Maybe not his fault, but that's the reality of the BJP's politics in that state. Basavaraj Bommai is just the worst example yet. The high commandist parties usually detest their own strong state leaders. As the BJP with Yediyurappa, they got so angry with him, they got rid of him once, and then they got rid of him the second time. Each time they had to bring him back. But that has devastated the BJP in two elections in Karnataka, in 2013 and 2023 now. Next point, the model of governing the states from Delhi is fully broken. Would this BJP have a heart large enough now to encourage more yogis and himantas to rise in the states? If it is indeed the case, if BJP has learned that lesson, they will now make choices in Rajasthan. Maybe. What is the choice in Rajasthan? What are the options? And Chhattisgarh as well now. They will not wait till the end. They will not say, okay, vote for us. The High Command will decide. That will be perilous. They will also start rebuilding Shivraj Singh Chauhan's stature instead of continuing to undermine it. This will need a fundamental shift in its style, temperament, and strategy. Does this BJP have it in itself to accept perils of becoming a one-leader party? Which brings us to our next point, and it's a very important one. You can't say polarization doesn't work. It does work. Or the BJP would not have maintained its vote share in Karnataka despite its super incompetent governance. But a reverse logic works too. Because just your loyal vote share cannot win you elections. You need the others. A divisive appeal excites your faithful and likely also puts off those in the middle, the small percentage of uncommitted voters who ultimately matter in the end. The many disillusioned with JDS, the Gowda family's party in this case, left JDS but preferred the Congress instead of the BJP. The data so far tells us that the BJP vote share is intact. Congress party has gone up by 6 percentage points and JDS has declined by just over 5. It looks like a straight transfer from JDS to the Congress party. We can risk saying that when these voters looked for another choice, they didn't want a divisive one. Polarization, therefore, is a double-edged sword. It can also put off enough Hindu voters to decimate you in a tight election. The mention of JDS brings us to our obvious next point, that this election will hopefully finish the Gowda family phenomenon of cynical, ideology-free JDS, cynical, ideology-free, power-hungry JDS. Over more than 25 years, beginning 1996, when Patriarch H.D. Deve Gowda became Prime Minister of India, the party has leveraged its ideology-free number 3 status to often grab undeserved power. That business is over now. The shop is shut. The Gowda dynasty is in terminal and sharp decline. It's good for India if purely family-run little operations like these, with no principles, no ideology, decline and fade away, and it's even better for Karnataka. The lesson for the Congress, which is our 9th point, is similar to that for the BJP, that if you have strong state leaders, as in Karnataka in Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar, you can win despite the odds. The Gandhi's ability to win states for you is enormously less than even Narendra Modi's for his own BJP. Unlikely this will be accepted by the Congress party, and most unlikely it will be accepted in a moment of victory. Definitely not if you've been watching Congress spokespersons all day giving credit for the win to Rahul Gandhi. And finally, our point number 10. The evidence that in 21st century India, that in India of 2023-24 going ahead, Tipu Sultan does not matter. He may have been a good guy or an awful guy more than 2 centuries ago. Mere baap ka kya jata hai? What goes of my pop? Abusing him won't pay for my kids' education now, nor get me a job, or put water in my tap. Leave him to historians, and you know what? For fake outrage in the living rooms of your new Latvians.